Good evening, partner.
Good evening, Coach.
May isang maulang gabi dito sa Metro Manila. Maulan.
I think nauna dito tapos sumunod sa inyo. Kaninang hapon maulan dito
Ganun ba?
Oo.
So kanina pa umulan, mag-iingat po tayo mga kasama dito sa Pilipinas, no? Syempre sa pagbiyahe, napakatindi ng traffic nga eh. Kasi siguro nagulat din yung yung buong Kalakhang Maynila dito sa nangyaring biglang pag-ulan. Dire-diretso eh. Dire-diretso siya. So, ingat po tayo sa pag-uwi. May mga umuwi pa rin kasi nasisilip ko yung EDSA dito sa aking bintana. No? At matraffic pa rin. So, mag-ingat po tayo yung mga nakikinig. May mga nakikinig na sa atin. May nakikinig na sa atin habang nagda-drive.
Nice. Oo.
Ibig sabihin, karapat-dapat ng pakinggan yung audio natin.
So, kamusta na, Coach? Back to normal na sa Pilipinas?
Well, maraming of course, mas marami ng customers especially during the weekends, pero makikita mo talaga nagbago yung profile ng behavior ng customers, particularly during the weekdays. Kasi nga sinasabi nga natin, 'di ba, yung convenience is really something that the customers discovered and enjoyed during the pandemic. So ang hirap din pag nasanay ka na nung pwedeng pa-deliver. No? So tinitingnan pa namin, obserbahan pa namin lahat, o binibiyak namin yung daily sales into day part sales, meaning lunch and dinner sales. Then hinihimay namin with regards to transaction counts, no, and transaction averages, and then yung breakdown ng per segment sales, yung delivery, dine-in, carry-out. At malaki talaga pinagbago. And of course, ang dami ring nag-reopen ng mga restaurants, no. So tinitingnan natin siyempre ng maigi dyan. And alam ko, yung lahat ng nanonood, lalo yung mga nag-online business ng pandemya. Yan naman yung baliktad naman, share. Di ba yung transition naman ngayon, yung mga dati pumutok yung online, di ba? Ngayon yung mga nag-o-online business, tinitingnan nila, no, nagde-decline. So again, hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-knee-jerk reaction na sasara ko na, no? Or magtatayo na ako ng brick and mortar na tindahan. So parte yan ng patuloy na diskusyon. At syempre, siguro in the next episodes, we can cover that. No? And we can siguro go back to our first few guests na nag-o-online business, so we can ask them para siyempre mas may credibility silang magsalita tungkol dyan, yung kanilang experiences. Ngayon na nag-transition na, almost 2 months na kasi tayong nasa alert level 1. Ayan.
Oo, dito naman medyo special kasi start na ng fasting month. So, di ba parang everything's open, pero for restaurants, it's a little bit more challenging kasi the only time babawi yan sa gabi, where all the buffets are in, and all of the Ramadan bazaars. So, medyo challenging din.
Alam mo kung ano nag-prompt sa akin na naalala nga kita bigla kasi nandiyan ka, no? And ano nag-prompt sa akin na Ramadan na kasi nga merong player yung UP na katabi ko kasi si Chef Eugene Jacobi kanina.
Ay, wow.
So siya yung nagpe-prepare ng mga pagkain ng mga UP players sa University Hotel. So habang nagpi-free-throw yung isang player ng UP, sabi niya, "Ako sir, baka mukhang gutom kasi nagpa-fasting yan eh." Sabi niya.
Oo.
Diba? Sabi ko, paano nga yun? Pag basketball player ka tapos siyempre Muslim ka, so mahirap din. So anyways, congratulations sa Maroons, the basketball team, no? Siyempre pa sa mga kaibigan natin sa University Hotel kung saan nag-stay ang UP Maroons, no? Kanalo sila kanina, no? Naka-comeback at napakaganda nung game, no? At speaking of which, no, ang dami na pong audiences ulit na nanonood sa mga venues. Siyempre may impact din po yan sa mga nearby restaurants, sa mga arena, no, Araneta Coliseum, MOA Arena, no. So, yan ang mga sabi mo, mahabang sagot ko sa tanong na kamusta na rito sa Pilipinas. Okay, so mag-recap tayo sapagkat excited na ako, no, at kaibigan natin yung ating bisita ngayong gabi. So excited na akong i-introduce natin siya, but before that, of course, we have to do a recap.
Ayan, gusto ko rin tong recap na to kasi ang daming viewers ng ating last episode and a lot of people were very inspired because it's talking about people. Diba? Oh, diba? Ayun, so number 1 ng ating top 3 takeaways. Yung 3 things to look for during recruitment. Yung IQ, EQ, personality, because you cannot teach these.
Oo, marami na nag-aaksaya ng panahon dyan. No? Again, ang tip natin from a veteran in the industry na parang napakasakit pakinggan. No? Pero masarap din pakinggan.
Yes.
Na 30 years na po ako sa industriya. No? Parang kailan lang ay nag-a-apply ako na hawak-hawak kong aking biodata. No? Dati nung araw, ganun pa eh. Hawak-hawak kong biodata, nag-apply ako sa Jollibee as working student. Kapila ka eh, no? Yung pinapanalangin mo na sana magkamali to ng sagot. Ang dami kasing nauna sa akin, sana magkamali ng sagot to sa interview. Baka limited lang yung slots, di ba? Parang ganun. So anyways, that's 30 years ago. And sinasabi ko nga, etong tatlong bagay na to, huwag mong pag-aksayahan, no? Kasi hindi natin pwedeng ituro yan sa loob ng restaurant. No, yung IQ, yung EQ, at saka yung personality. Dapat pag nire-recruit pa lang natin, as much as I am a passionate coach and I love training and people development, ay hindi po talaga natin maituturo sa loob ng restaurant yung tatlong bagay na yan.
Tapos yung gusto ko yung second point natin kasi napulot natin sa someone who's viewing us, which is hire tough so you can manage easy.
Yes, si Miss Sally Di Malanta, no? Magandang gabi sa iyo, Sally. Nanonood ulit siya ngayon, no? Tama mo, nawili na siya, oh. Siyempre, mga HR professionals nanonood na rin dito. Kaya tara na, manood na kayo every Tuesday. 8:30. Sumegway, no? Kasi sinabi niya, totoo yun, no? Maraming forma yung kasabihan na yan sa restaurant industry. Pero ang sinasabi lang niyan, if you want to really have a hard time training and operating, then wag kang maging diligent sa pagre-recruit. So baliktarin mo, gusto mo maging madali ang operations at saka ang training, maging diligent ka sa pagre-recruit. 99%, ako nagsasabi, 99% of the trick is nandoon sa recruitment. Pag magaling ang na-hire mo, maganda personality, above average ang IQ, napakaganda ng EQ, which is very important sa hospitality industry, ay hindi ka mahihirapan mag-train. Diba? At most likely, pagka-align, meron pa ako idadagdag dyan para masulit yung mga 25 na early birds natin na nanonood ngayon. No? Para masulit, tatlong bagay po. Kailangan align din po yung strengths, yung passion, at saka yung personal goals. Yan. Kailangan align din po yan. Para pati yung tatahaking landas. Yun naman, para sa yung share? Retention. Kasi mas nare-retain yung mga tao na may alignment yung kanilang passion, personal goals, at strengths dun sa trabahong ibibigay mo sa kanila.
Ayan. Tapos yung third is yung genuinely care for the right employees. Know them as people and cultivate a culture of co-elevation.
Ang ganda ng binanggit mo, no? Dinagdagan mo lang ng isang mahiwagang salita, yung right, no? Kasi arguably, maraming controversial yan. Kasi sabi, di ba, genuinely care for all employees, yes. But make sure that they are the right employees. Kasi the worst thing that you can do in an organization, and I can only speak for the restaurant organization, no, is to treat people equally. Don't treat people equally. Treat them equitably. Sabi nga namin sa Buffalo Wings and Things, the best should get the most. No, ibig sabihin, yung mga performers, di ba ang trato sa mga performers, top performers, at sa mga non-performers? No, kailangan malinaw na malinaw sa bawat tao natin kung nasaan sila. Sila ba'y naroon sa unacceptable? Sila ba'y naroon sa basic? Sila ba'y naroon doon sa desired or sa excellent? No? And every week, dapat ina-appraise mo sila, binibigyan mo ng informal appraisal na, feedback, sit down tayo, no? Ito performance mo for the past week, congratulations, ang ganda ng salesmanship mo, pero nag-slide ka. Medyo bumababa yung no? Yung delivery mo ng hospitality. Masyado kang nakafocus lang sa service. Yung mga ganong bagay, continuous feedback, yan ang nagpapaigi sa isang organisasyon upang ma-deliver natin yung mas mataas na expectations ng mga customers, especially now after the pandemic.
Ayan. Kaya madaming nanood dahil napakaganda nga naman natin ang last episode.
Ako nga, natuwa ako. Siguro mga 7 times yun ang pinakikinggan. Sapagkat yun rin ang payo ko, no? Kahit na matagal ka na sa industriya or may-ari ka na ng restaurant, no? Or nag-a-aspire ka pa lang, it doesn't hurt na yung mga idle time, driving, no? Commuting, makinig lang tayo. Paulit-ulit, repetition. No? Ako po, bago ako naniwala sa... Ako nga, minsan, yung mga sinabi na ng mga nauna pang narinig ko nung Jollibee times pa, ngayon ko lang nakikita yung yung wisdom. No? So, paulit-ulit po natin pakinggan yung mga bagay na makakatulong sa ating pagnenegosyo.
Ayan. Yan ang ating top 3. At ang ating 94th, oh my God, 94th episode.
Isipin mo, si Michelle Gossip po, na dati ayaw niya talagang sumali dito sa harap ng camera, ay naka 94 episodes na. No, actually, 93. Kasi yung isa nagka-technical difficulty. So, congratulate po natin muli, palakpakan natin ang ating hesitant superstar, no, si Cheryl Gosse. Na balang araw, manonominate to sa Catholic Mass Media Award.
Ay, wow, Catholic Mass
Media. Mga ganyan, no, yung mga award-giving body, no, sa Pilipinas tungkol sa mga best co-host. Best host. Yan.
Oo. Pero
Balang
wala
araw,
nang
mapapansin din tayo ng mga award-giving bodies.
Yes.
Ito, 94 episodes na tayo. Pinanganak ito ng pandemya. So, congratulations sa iyo, Cher, at sa lahat ng mga masugid na nanonood linggo-linggo. Tulad ni
Yes.
Jazz Distrito, syempre, no, at ang kanyang mga asul na puso. Catherine Lagapa. Ito nakakatuwa pag nakita ka ng mga pangalan na siguro 2 to 3 times. Nakakabisa mo na rin eh. Siguro mga 2 to 3 times pa lang nanonood, tapos umuulit-ulit na sila every Tuesday. Magandang gabi po, Miss Catherine. No, si Yam Casino, of course, si Teacher Yam nanonood. Ang lamig daw doon sa kanila. Buti pa dyan, malamig. No? Take care po diyan. Yan. Of course, ang mga taga Laguna at Hotel Marciano, si Erwin Lancero. Sa pangunguna ni Erwin Lancero. And si Miss Annabel Johnson, syempre, yan nagdala sa ating Engineer Jocelyn, no? Si Sharina Kay, and si George Labaw Jr. At syempre pa, sa paborito kong tao sa buong mundo to, si Ange Manzano Cataluna. No? Nakita ko mga yan, bata pa. So alam ko matanda na ako sapagkat may asawa at anak. May asawa at anak ba sila ngayon?
Testament of age.
Si Tito Romel na ako. Yan, okay. Si Coach Jane Maldansakay, talagang linggo-linggo rin to, at saka early bird pa. Si Jade Kims, Jeff Chavez at ang mga taga SM Jazz, no? Yan sa Mariposo. Magandang gabi sa inyo at sa mga taga Buffalo Swings and things dyan. Si Chris Napoles, si Ben Santioque. Ayan, God bless din sa inyo. Ayan, wings up. Basketball soon. Ayan, gaya yan na mag-basketball. Siyempre, si Miss Cynthia Bernardo at lahat ng mga taga University Hotel. Si Brother Victor Mempin mula sa UK. No? Ayan, yung ating global audience, siyempre. No? Si Sherwin De Leon sa Langsang. Nako, sana hindi ako nagkamali. Parang nasa Ireland to o sa Scotland. Ano mo nga ako, bro, kung nasaan ka. No? Sa isa doon sa dalawang lugar na yun. Darwin Matienzo, siyempre pa lahat ng mga OFW. Darwin Matienzo, maraming salamat, Brother Darwin, for being a blessing to a... meron akong kaibigan na OFW, si Ate Oya, no, from Hong Kong. Sikat sa Wancha yan, no? Sikat sa Wancha yan. Pero umuwi na siya sa Pilipinas at si Darwin ay tinutulungan siyang magnegosyo. Salamat, Darwin. Ha? Siyempre, tulong-tulungan tayo, paying it forward, di ba?
Yes.
Yan, lalo yung mga OFW, malambot ang puso ko sa mga ganyan. Di ba? Siyempre, si Pastor Alinang, dating OFW yan, saka si Ate Tere, na mga galing sa Middle East yan. Ayan, si Rose Ann De Leon, tinag ni Darwin, no? Oliver Moreno, Lorraine Cartoneros, yan, speaking of people development. Sa magagaling na coaches yan, si Lorraine Cartoneros. Si Romy Fernandez, si Elmer Miklat, ito na mga taga-Shakey, saka si Jane, no? Kanina si Jane, tapos si Elmer. Mga taga-Shakey yan, si Aren, Dorji Anave, Erico Mancedido, Siegfried Gatos, si Nats Tobias, no? Future guest natin to. Ayan yung sinasabi ko sa'yo na nagtatrabaho pero may side hustle din. Sabi sa'yo, nandito na si Ate Sally Di Malanta.
Ayan.
John Paul San Juan, magandang gabi sa'yo, brother. At syempre pa, representing Las Vegas, Nevada, Jake and Tina Castro. Donald Tenorio from Sydney, Australia. No?
Kahit daylight savings time.
Oo. Ay, hindi, ano na.
Tapos
April 1 eh.
Okay.
Makikita nyo na parati si Donald Tenorio na maaga ulit. Salamat, brother. At syempre si Chef Jen, no? At si Earl Diaz from ito na mga taga-Kalamba naman to. Ayan, si Earl Diaz. Ayan. Si Boris Pido, magandang gabi sa iyo. Angelica Adol. Sabi ni Jake, no, si Ferdinand, no? Please greet my co-workers listening to you right now. Syempre, English dapat dahil nasa Las Vegas to eh.
Yes.
Hi to Miss Ivy, Mel, Narvi, and Marie. Magandang gabi po at magandang araw pala sa inyo dyan. No? At pupunta po kami dyan ni Cher balang araw sa Las Vegas. Hahanapin namin kayo. Si MM Guardino mula ito mga taga Zark's Burgers. No? Ayan. At ang marami pa pong maagang nagsipanood gagaya ni Jerdy Silva at ang mga bikers. No? May daming bikers ng pandemya. At syempre, tatapusin natin yung first batch ng batian sa Reyna ng Parañaque, mga kaibigan.
Of course.
Hindi kailangan ng eleksyon para ibotong Reyna ng Parañaque si Mami Cynthia Pineda.
Ayan.
Kaya ipakilala mo na ang ating guest. Kaya ako medyo nagpumorma ako ng nagpamada ako dahil talaga tong guest natin pang grand finals din to, Cher. Bagay na bagay yung mga katanungan. Tapos ikaw, pumayat ka pa.
Ayun.
So kailangan mag-keep up ako sa mga appearances dito. Kaya baka magmukha akong lolo eh. So.
Diba? Hindi kasi episode 94 na tayo. Di ba pag nagiging successful ang show, gumaganda tsaka gumagwapo yung mga host. So ganun daw.
Sana nagkatotoo yan para sa ating lahat.
Ayun. Ayan, without further ado, we're talking
Yun.
about branding in the business of dining. So how to create clear and effective restaurant branding. And we would like to welcome Miss Olivia Repotente, founding art director of Studio O Incorporated. Hello.
Hi.
Ayun.
Hi, Coach Rommel. Hi, Cher. Thanks for having me tonight.
Oh, di ba? Oo nga, ang ganda nga. Parang ang pang binibining Pilipinas tayo ngayon.
Nagpumada din ako tonight. Para sure.
Ayan, didiretso na ako, Coach, kasi medyo marami-rami akong tanong for her.
Oo, marami tayo dapat mapiga dito sapagkat marami tayong matututunan from her. She's one of the pinakakilala. Sabihin na natin pinakakilala with regards to restaurant design in the Philippines. And ako, talagang pag may nagtatanong sa akin, no, yan talaga binabanggit ko. No? When people ask me about, who can help them with regards to branding, design, of course, Olivia Repotente yan. At yung aming bahay mismo. No?
Wow!
Binibigyan kami ni Olivia Repotente na, siyempre. Sige, kausapin mo na yan. Magaling yan.
Ayan. Ayun, first question ko agad, yung favorite question naming lagi is, yung please tell us about your career journey and how you got to where you are right now. Okay. And sorry, side kwento, paano nyo kilala ang isa't isa? Yun yung side doon. Okay.
Sinong sasagot nito?
Ikaw!
Paano ba kita nakilala, Coach? I think it was
through Ed.
Through Ed, yeah. It was around the time where I just started Studio O. I think it was very like in the beginnings talaga. And then I came across Ed, and then I met, I was working with Ed noon through 71 Gramercy, I believe, that project. Yes. And then he connected me to the team of Buffaloes. And then I met Rommel. And we worked on their brand, and we've known each other since. And like he said, at one point, nag-project namin yung bahay niya. So that was also something fun that we did together.
Ganun pala talaga kabilib ka, Coach, no?
So ko natutunan yung Cher, yung mga, ang dami pala mga pangalan ng mga pintura. Ang dami pala yung mga, di ba ako alam ko lang yung mga primary colors di ba? Ang dami mga
white pa lang, ang dami mo ng pangalan
Coastal fog, no? Marcielo.
Mahirap i-spell. Ayun, yung career journey, how do you got to where you're right now? Kasi parang siya, very specialized
It is very specialized. It didn't really it's not, parang it has evolved na rin through the years. It wasn't like this like when it began. If I will take it way back, like my background is really in architecture. I've been trained in architecture school, but when I graduated, I really wanted to pursue a career in graphic design. So parang iniwan ko muna yung architecture for a bit, and I was really dead set on pursuing graphic design. So I got a job. I think my first job was for a kitchen design company. So I was designing kitchens, but the primary reason I wanted to apply for that job was that I got to design posters, I got to design the mga marketing materials. So that was really my first, I guess, professional experience in graphic design. And then later on, I landed a job at Century Properties, and it was a corporate setup, which I think my corporate experience really helped then I guess in my studio now, having that structure, having that parang professional structure, that training, it has really helped me, I think, apply that in my own business. So I was there for a bit of time also. Even though I'm still 23 years old, I have worked there for a long period of time, I think.
May isang weakness pala. May isang weakness.
So yeah, I worked there for a bit of time, and then I decided to do my own studio, set up my own studio, and it's just, like I found a team, like I slowly built a group of professionals who have the same vision as I do, and that's what we're doing now. That's studio is not just me. I know it's my name, which is parang a little conceited, but studio is not just me. We're a team of designers and architects. So there, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, actually, I'd like to also get Coach's perspective on your end, naman. How long have you worked together? Why did you like working with Olivia?
Actually, may similarities kayo eh. Kasi ang importante sa nasa sa other side is bukod sa maganda, okay, bukod sa maganda, yung nakikinig. Kasi ako, maobserba ako sa mga ka-meeting na gano'n eh. Pag nakikinig sa kliyente, good sign yon. Diba? Kasi mahirap naman yung 2 minuto pa lang, alam na yung gagawin sa brand mo eh. Diba? I'm talking about the, Olive, the part where Buffaloes na to. Now, when Ed, invited you over in Solaris, I remember, in one of our stores.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we, just the first time I met you, and then prior to me knowing na yung mga projects niya is bigatin, no, magaganda, it's more of the interaction. No, yun yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, doon sa mga nasa industriya po tayo ng customer service. So it's very important that we listen. No? So yun yung recollection ko kay Olivia, somebody who listens. And then nung nakita ko yung portfolio, naging open-minded ako. Parang sa iyo rin, di ba, sa IXM, when you were assigned to us, nakikinig ka sa amin ni Ed. Kasi yun eh, you have to respect yung mga dreamers kung tawagin. Sila yung nangarap eh. So pakinggan mo sila kung ano yung nasa isip nila, and then, for us to be entertained, masarap yun eh. Kasi kausap namin kadalasan mga taga-restaurant din eh. So that's siguro yung recollection ko of that moment. And kaya hindi ako nahihiyang i-recommend si Olive, no? When people ask me, even mga dati ko pinagtrabahuan na lugar, mga may-ari din, sabi ko talaga. No, because not just about the work, but it's about the relationship that is going to be built between client, and customers, and eventually it becomes collaboration, no? Ano yun eh. Malalim yun pag nagko-collaborate kayo at pareho na kayong stakeholders. No, napakahalaga no, yung mga nakikinig po sa atin na magtatayo pa lang ng negosyo or meron kayong current na negosyo. Wag po parati nating titingnan yung hingin nyo agad yung quotation, hingin nyo agad yung price, no? Ano yun? Ang importante is ano yung konsepto, no? Ano yung vision? Kanina binabanggit yung vision, napaka-importante. And pag aligned, no, yung client at saka yung yung customer, yung vendor in this instance, mas malayo yung mararating ng collaboration. Kasi merong alignment eh.
Ayan, ang glowing endorsement. Ayun. Actually, ang ganda nung seg ni Coach kasi my next question is what's the vision behind the creation of Studio O?
Well, at first, we're really focused on designing, wanting to create brand identities and designing logos and all the elements that contribute to the identity of a brand. So, but we were always working under the premise or under the belief that the strength of a brand identity is highly dependent on the consistency of its application throughout all the touch points. So it's not just about, I think you said this very well in your blurb, in your poster, that a brand identity is not just a logo. We don't design a logo and then stop there. It's really making sure that all the elements, the colors, the typography, the layout style, the photography style, all come together to create this cohesive visual identity for the brand. And consistently applying that to, let's say, the print collaterals, the digital interfaces like the website, socials, and even up to the physical stores, the architecture and the interior design. So that has always been, I think, our belief in or our approach to branding. It's the consistency of application. It's not parang just designing one element. It's really orchestrating all these elements to and the additive result of all these elements put together will create the identity of the brand.
So in terms of brand identity, you mentioned that is it any different from a normal product against a restaurant?
Well, I think the design approach of doing a brand identity is same for all industries. I think it will be different, like considering yung mga applications. So for example, a product, your applications would probably be like packaging or like product design. For restaurants, the considerations are much different. They would be like signage, interior design, staff uniform. So I think the objective is always the same. Like, I think the main objective of branding is really trying to make your brand distinct and set them apart from other brands. So I think it remains the same. The objective remains the same regardless of industry, but the applications do change and the considerations of the functionalities of the elements do change.
Ayun, ang dami nga naman ng consideration when it comes to like a restaurant, ayan na ba? I mean, when you talk about applications alone and touch points, isasama mo pa yung what people wear. When it's a product, it's just the physical item. It happens lang kung meron kang mga wobblers, yung mga ano na communications na. But for a restaurant, a lot of things are expected to be there and to match. Di ba, Coach?
Yeah, alam mo, yung paborito ko doon, no, kung meron po kayong isusulat sa inyong mga notebooks, no, yung ngayong gabi, siyempre, nakagawian na natin yan, no. Ang ganda ng sinabi about consistency, cohesiveness, and a holistic approach, no. Pa-importante po noon, it's not modular, it's not something na patse-patse, 'di ba? Hindi mabubuo yung storya. So I took note of something, sabi niya kanina, yung word na it's orchestrating, no. Ang ganda ng word na 'yan, no, kasi totoo 'yun, no? It's orchestrating something that is, when you add them all together, it tells a story. It tells a story of the brand. It tells the story of how you want to make people feel good about themselves when they go to your restaurant. Yan naman ang ending yan eh. We create emotions. Yung mga touch points na nabanggit po natin dati yan when we talked about hospitality and service. No, it's about all the touch points making customers feel good about themselves, feel good about the occasion, feel good about the visit. And even for delivery, it's very challenging. Dapat naganap yan. And a lot of it happened during the pandemic. Di ba, sabi nga, the brands that succeeded during the pandemic are the brands that were able to provide comfort, joy, happiness in the midst of all this crisis, di ba? Hindi na lang sila umorder ng produkto eh. Di ba? Even yung packaging, it is something that they're proud to unbox and, maybe take a picture of or a video of and then post it sa social media. Lahat ng bagay na ginagawa ng tao kasi karamihan yan, emotionally driven yan. Diba? So ang ganda ng sinabi, please take note of that. Ang ganda po yung pagbubuo ng storya. So the identity of the brand is very clear. And of course, relatable. Diba? Relatable.
Yeah. Coach has mentioned yung challenges during the pandemic. So, apart from dealing with, diba, branding is very conceptual eh. Until you get to feel it, it remains conceptual. So, ano yung naging challenges in branding in general and specifically during the pandemic?
Well, I think in general, since like I mentioned earlier, like the main objective of branding is really making yourself distinct or parang setting yourself apart from all the others. So just the sheer volume of brands and not just in the food industry, but like brands in general, just the sheer volume. But it's almost impossible to parang separate yourself and like be 100% parang unique and memorable. So I think that is in general the biggest challenge of branding, trying to really look inward and parang it will force you to soul search almost na parang ano ba talaga yung kakaiba sa akin, what is really like my unique quality, what is it that I really have to offer, and it forces you to get to that bottom line so that yun yung gagawin mong parang anchor ng what you try to communicate as a brand. So I think it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's also an opportunity because it forces you to do that for you to create something distinct. And I think it's only amplified by the pandemic, since there has been parang this massive shift of attention from physical to digital, and parang now it becomes easier to create a brand na parang kahit naman nasa bahay lang ako, I can create a store or like a product I can sell from my home because nga of that massive transition of attention. and that contributes to the volume of brands out there. Even just parang crafting a name, thinking of a name for your brand. Parang, okay, feeling mo, parang, nakakuha ka na ng name na maganda. And then you'll see na parang you have 10 others on Instagram that have the same name. So it's really, I think the challenge is that parang volume of brands out there, and really trying to create your own space, your own identity amongst these brands.
Ayun, very helpful actually, Olivia, when you said it's a craft. Because some people do tend to have that feeling na madaling to come up with a name, or madaling to come up with a logo. And sometimes, ang favorite example ko pa yan pag sinabing, kayo nang bahala, at saka sino ang target market? Lahat. So I think that's when I like how you said it. It's crafting it, and it's forcing somebody to really think about being very specific.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at this point in time, you have to be specific. Kasi dati, maraming budget at konti ang media. Ngayon, konti ang budget at marami ang media. Medyo mahirap ang labanan. Di ba, Coach?
Yeah, dagdag ko lang, napaka-importanting manote natin yung kahalagahan ng difference ng brand at saka ng business. Kasi nagtayo ka ng business, pero you realize, especially if it's an online business, once you put it online, no, you put it on Facebook, etc., that's, yung branding becomes very, very, very valuable. In fact, no, yung mga experiences ng mga tao na nag-online business, yun yung difficulty. Kasi establishing yung brand din, no, establishing yung reputation. Diba? So, even, doing sampling and other more tangible things, it's actually branding eh. Because what you put out there speaks of the brand or the business that you represent. So tama kayo, maraming na minamaliit, no? Minamaliit yung value ng branding and how important it is. But now with all of these thousands and thousands of digital brands, no, on food lang, makikita mo yung mga ads, nakikipag-compete yan eh. Sa, di ba ngayon karamihan election ads, pero maraming pa rin food, no? Kasi nga nagpo-promote na yung mga online businesses ngayon dahil na-realize nila nagda-dine in na uli yung tao. So anything and everything is online, no, ng mga negosyo. Pero ang tanong, yung pangalan, napakahalaga nun. No, ako sa totoo lang, yung pangalan, no, alam nating lahat yan. Madalas kong sinasabi na napakahalaga ng pangalan. Even as people, no, we are actually, as individuals, we are brands. No, and how we put out ourselves, no, to the public is, it will affect the brand that we carry. Bago tayo tuluyang malibang na napakahusay ng ating bisita, maraming salamat pinagbigyan tayo, ay babatiin natin ang napakadami pong nanonood. No? Dumadami ang ating nanonood ng live at natutuwa po kami. Maraming salamat. Kanina nabanggit natin mga taga Las Vegas, tuloy natin si Kaiser Galvez, ang ating kaibigan na pabalik-balik yan, Las Vegas, Manila. No? Magandang gabi sa iyo, Kaiser. Actually, hindi ko alam kung nasa Pilipinas ka na, kung nasa Las Vegas ka pa. No? Ronald Cabrera, nasa yan, no? Nasa Shakey's din yan dati. Hindi ko alam kung nasa Shakey's pa siya ngayon. Magandang gabi po. Jan Payumo, magandang gabi sa iyo. Sabi ni Miss Dorji, thank you, Coach. It's my first time to listen. Good advice about handling rest of business. God bless. Maraming salamat din po. Ruel Almonte at mga taga North EDSA, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Paulo Jose Perez, no? At si Maki Gloton. Si Maki taga Dasmariñas, Cavite ito. Si Joseph Masangkay, kala mo binaligtad mo pa. Si Bertwin, nanonood siya ngayon, no? Si Bertwin. Bertwin Lee, magandang gabi sa iyo, brother, no? Magandang gabi. Bertwin, ayan, nanonood siya. Sa real estate naman yan, at aking ka-basketball. At sa lahat ng mga taga-howball, magandang gabi po. Del Villaralbo at Arden Alojado. Si Arden, mga na to, 95 episodes na, 94 episodes pa lang tayo eh. Araw at every time nandiyan yan. And of course, si paring Joven Gose, no?
Ayan.
Siyempre, suporta sa kanyang minamahal na si Cher. Magandang gabi, pare. At sabi dyan, ang sarap po maglinis ng kotse habang nakikinig sa topic ninyo tonight. Ayan. Naglilinis ng kotse, nakikinig sa atin. Learning never stops. Diba? Yes. Totoo naman yan eh. Diba? Ako, paborito ko yan kasi medyo hindi ako visual, more on the, ang tawag doon? Auditory ba? Or doon ako natututo, so I listen to podcast and sa kotse. Maraming naitulong sa akin, no? Tsaka hindi ako nadidistract gaano habang nagda-drive, di ba? Tama naman yun, makinig lang tayo. Si Maria Filosopo, Rico Mancenido, parang pinahihirapan ako. Ang haba na apelido nyo. Nakakaingit ha. Ako kasi ang apelido ko na 2 letra lang. JJ Gusilatar. Kasi ito, kilala ko to, Olive. Si Rafael Hiponya. Ayan.
Kilala ko din
Si
yan.
Raf. Rivel Bermilio. Mildred Estidola. Magandang gabi po. RR Gallego. Jordan Bernardo of Mad Cafe. Yan. Joey Amorin. Mga bidista. Yan. At Notre Damers yan. Si Coach Mel, nandito rin, syempre, kasama ni Coach Mel, nandiyan si Coach Cherry din, Cherry ko. Maraming salamat sa lahat po ng tumangkilik nung nakaraan nilang webinar, workshop. Galing. So, mabuhay po kayo. Sa lahat ng mga coaches at mentors na nanonood dito, pagpatuloy lang po natin ang pagko-coach at pag-mentor kahit tapos na po ang pandemya. Yes. Marami pa rin pong nangangailangan. Bakala ng iba, pandemya, di ba? But, even after the pandemic, recovery, pag-uusapan natin yan siguro yung mga near episodes, no? Maraming nag-akala, nag-iba yung pananaw dun sa recovery. Kala natin gano'n, babalik lang, parang sinwitch, no? So, i-share natin yung mga importanteng insights tungkol dyan. Sige, pagpatuloy po natin ang ating kwentuhan with Studio O.
Ayan, ang maganda ating seg. Kasi yung sa ating next question, I think Coach Olivia will have to share screen on what role does branding play in the dining experience.
Yeah, actually, sige, let me answer that while I share some slides kasi baka the visuals will help support some of the answers. Share screen. Oopsie. Okay, sorry. Okay, so just want to confirm that I'm on a full screen. I need to full screen. There. So I guess want to answer that while I show some slides. Like I think kanina I mentioned the importance of consistency of the visual identity and how that's applied to different touch points. So I think the primary role of branding in a space is again to translate that visual identity and parang ma-experience mo siya in a three-dimensional manner. So I'm showing here an example of a project that we did many years ago. This is one of bistro groups concepts, Crazy Garlic. If you remember, this was from before. So at that time, the design challenge was to refresh their brand identity. So we designed the logo. Parang reevaluated the brand colors that they had at that time. And then it was done in conjunction with the development of their interior design for their store. So we did applications of their brand identity elements. You will notice here, like the choice of the furniture, the choice of the finishes in the stores, the graphic elements that we place, even the staff uniform, the packaging. So even the elements or the icon elements, the signature pattern that we crafted for them is also apparent in some of the walls of the store. So we tried to be as consistent as we can with the application of the brand colors and the brand patterns. So that when you experience it, it's not like parang kasi diba, kung print lang siya, business card, and nandun lang yung colors. Yes. This time, parang you're really experiencing the visual identity in like a 3D manner or like 3D experience. So some examples of the applications for that store. So what we tried to do here is to translate their visual identity, their colors, their patterns, the graphics that siguro like if not applied in a store would just remain, let's say, in a poster or like in a print collateral. But what we attempted here is to create that, to apply that to the actual space so you can experience being inside those elements. So that's one example, and I'll just run through some examples. And if you have questions, you feel free to to butt in. I'm kind of like nahihiya with Coach Rommel because I don't have any slides for the work that we've done for Buffaloes. Kasi hindi ko na mahanap yung mga pictures, but I promise I'll look for
Sobrang tagal na yun.
Ayun.
at some point kasi parang mabilisan lang whatever.
Baka kailangan na tayong mag-rebrand.
Ayan. No? Anong year pala to, Olivia?
Which one?
This one, the one you're showing. What year?
Am I on the crazy garlic? Sorry,
Yes.
gumagalaw ba yung slides?
Yes, Crazy Garlic. One
Pero
screen.
gumagalaw ba yung slides ko? Sorry.
No.
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 Still the first slide.
Ayan, no. Kaya pala. Wait lang Sorry. Can I resume the share?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
please.
Kasi sometimes that happens. Like I keep
PDF?
on like, PDF. I keep on.
Kailangan mo i-maximize yung buong.
Ayan,
Ayan. Okay.
Sorry, audience.
No.
So ito yung what I was explaining a while ago, but I think you can get the point naman. So this is the pattern that I was referring to a while ago. More of the applications in the store.
Yeah.
So we were very, I guess, mindful of the brand colors and the patterns and the signature graphics that we developed for them and applied that to the store. This, I think, oh my gosh, what year was this? I think this was somewhere around 2015, around there. Quite time ago.
Wow, because I'd like to commend you kasi I think this one, you're way ahead of your time kasi this yung typography and how it looks is very in now pagdating sa Instagram kasi it's very Instagrammable, di ba? May Instagrammable wall and it's on the item. So that's why I had to ask what year was this?
Yeah. This was quite a bit of time ago. Actually, baka earlier, baka somewhere around 2014. I have to double check kung kailan namin ito ginawa. And then if I can move on, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'll breeze through some of them. So I'm sorry to those people na nasama dito. Ginrab ko lang to from Instagram. This Rax is also one of the brands that we worked with where we had parang a refresh of their brand. So to the left is the old store that they had and then we wanted to create a fresh look for them in the Magallanes branch. So in-update namin yung logo. If you will notice, there's a difference in the logo. And the overall design approach we updated. So we tried to craft a new set of colors. There's a new color palette, and then we also identified key textures which are consistent or which are visible in the interiors of the store. So not only the interiors, yung in-applyan namin itong new color palette and key textures, but we were also very mindful of the other details of the store. So the tablescape is also included in that parang exercise. So again, like we keep on parang talking about or reiterating is that consistency of like the intent of like the brand message. So even like the little details, they have to contribute to that story we are telling. So all these details we also selected so that everything is in line with the refined or refreshed identity. So even the uniforms we designed and directed so that it's like a new look for them.
I have a question though. For example, I'm in with the cohesiveness and as well as the consistency. But what if, for example, for ones na hindi pa ganun kalaki and medyo budget constrained, ano ba siya, all or nothing, or ano yung dapat unahin in terms of priorities if they want to do like a brand identity refresh?
I think there's always a way to do parang a consistent application within the budget that you set. There, it can also be like what you said, pwede mo siyang efface. But I think there's always a way. Like for example, a uniform. Parang if you have limited budget in your case, maybe instead of custom designed uniforms like this, kung may mga print or whatever, pwede namang gawin mo lang siyang consistent by making them all, let's say, white t-shirt na ready, the store bought na lang siya. So you can still apply a degree of consistency working with the budget that you set. So, kailangan lang clear kung ano yung gusto mong ma-achieve. I think yung pinaka-importante lang is alam mo kung ano yung gusto mong ma-achieve, and then you can determine what workarounds, what parang cost-efficient solutions you can do as long as you know what your goal is, your design goal is.
Okay.
So I'll carry on more. This is naman what we did for Rack Shack, which is like the edgier brother of Racks. So here it's not only, and I have to point out, parang it's not only parang the colors or the patterns that would be important in translating your brand identity to a space. It's also the spirit. It's also parang the emotion or the experience that the brand wants to give its audience. So for example, Rack Shack, yung gusto niyang experience or yung emotion na ma-feel ng audience niya in their store is something na parang fun and young and edgy. So the choice of the vibrant colors, the choice of the typography application on the interiors, the surfaces, all contribute to that parang spirit or that experience na parang it's younger, it's fresher, it's more vibrant, and that's what we hope to achieve in this project. So just by like the choice of the colors, it's different now from Racks because it's its own brand, and parang siya nga is the personality that it aims to project is a younger and edgier brand. So yeah, I think I've shown enough. Maybe I'll show one more. So I'll breeze through this. That's Tenya. That's also Peri Peri.
Wow, galing,
I
no?
want to particularly, sorry, balik pa.
there.
I want to particularly also mention the work that we did for Zarks. Zarks, as you know, like the good people of Zarks, they have this brand for a long time now. When we got introduced to them, what we wanted to do was try to create a brand book for them, parang helping them kasi they're expanding, they're like rapidly expanding. So a brand book will help a restaurant or any brand for that matter to expand like in a guided manner. So we did establish some rules and guidelines for their brand. So for example, there are logo use guidelines, there are signature color guidelines, there are typography guidelines, layout guidelines, and even like there are like a whole set of guidelines, and even like store textures, materials, we also developed a set of guidelines for them so that when they expand, it would be easier for them na parang hindi mawawala yung consistency that we always are aiming for. They know na, okay, this texture must be present, ganitong klaseng red yung kailangang gawin, ganito yung paggawa ng signage, so that every store will be the same image, will have the same experience, and they're guided in doing it. So yun yung role ng brand book. I guess that's also to answer your previous the question, which is parang the role of branding is also to help the businesses to expand more easily and more effectively because they are guided by a set of rules that will make it easier for them.
So it means, for example, for you to have like a brand book, meron ba siyang prescribed number of stores na meron ka bago ka dapat magka-brand book?
We don't. We always recommend parang even if you're planning to have one store, it would be good to invest on a brand book or develop a brand book because you'll never know when you will expand, and I think you always have to have that openness or ability to expand and to adapt when the need arises or when you're pag may opportunity na mag-expand. So I think if you set it early on, it will be to your advantage kesa yung parang nag-expand ka na, parang may 5 ka kagad tapos tsaka mo pa lang siya is-streamline. So I think it's always best to design with like that foresight so that when it comes, you're ready.
Mm-hmm. So kumbaga yung sa'yo, it's designed with intent na talaga.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you have anything to add?
Ang dami kasi nakakatuwa yung binanggit niya kanina, no? Nag-notes nga ako eh. Yung personality ng brand, totoo 'yon, napakahalaga because for your marketing to be to be more effective, and you would know this, share, no? Is kailangan may malino na identity at personalidad yung brand eh, no? So na-note ko rin na kanina binabanggit doon sa unang bahagi, napakahalaga ng vibe. No, yung kine-create na it's more than an experience, it's a vibe, no? It's something that makes people feel an emotion, no? Gaya na nabanggit natin kanina. And then lastly, I totally agree, no? Mahirap mag-retroactive na na pagpapalit ng mga brand elements, no, magastos 'yun, no? And of course, when you start expanding, mas maganda kung malinaw na sa'yo kung ano yung intention mo. Malinaw yung identity ng brand, malinaw yung guidance kung ano yung mga logo na gagamitin. Lalo pag dumadayo ka kasi maring sikat ka sa Metro Manila pero pagdating mo sa probinsya, 'di ba? Bago lang yung brand mo, no? In terms of alam mo, basta nasa social media. Of course, hangga't hindi makakita ng actual store yung mga customers, iba pa 'yun eh. So the brand experience is very important, that the initial impression would create that envisioned, no? Envisioned customer experience. So, ang dami po dating dapat pinik up doon, mga kasama sa industriya, no, na again, no, it's an investment. Ako naniniwala ako na ang daming returns, maraming balik. Kailangan tayo mag-invest kasi para lang din sa marketing mo maging effective. Pag nag-expand ka, madali, no, and lahat ng tao, having a consistent and unique and easily identifiable brand at this point in time, napakalaking bagay.
Yeah, I just like to connect din dun sa part ng, I think, the cherry on top and the advantage of Coach Olivia is yung architecture background. Because to be honest, coming from marketing then and from an advertising agency, we don't see it that way. Diba? Branding wise, that's why I was asking a while ago yung difference between a product against a restaurant. It's quite different kasi if you have somebody designing a store who doesn't have any insight on what happens in a store, on everything, how everything moves in a store, it will be a different experience against somebody who knows how it is like. Kasi dun pa lang may iba na yung experience eh.
Totoo
Diba,
yun.
Coach? Yeah.
Totoo yun. Layout, kasi ang unang ginagawa dyan, yung kitchen layout. Pag hindi kumasya ang kusina mo dun sa space na kinuha mo, ang laki ng implikasyon no pag pinersa mo, no? Implikasyon sa service, no, sa serving time, employee experience, no, and all of these things. Kahit anong galing mo mag-market, kung pagdating ng actual operations, the customer experience sucks, then wala rin, di ba? So tama yun, yung link between architecture, design, layout, no, yung systems group din, yung time and motion. Napakalaga nun.
And then I think we touched upon it, but I'd like to hear more from you, Olivia, on yung challenges and opportunities in strengthening restaurant brands.
I think restaurants, one of the biggest challenges, I guess, that we experience, yung timeline also, because parang like if it's a product na hindi pa na-launch, diba, parang sometimes you can push the deadline depending on how ready you are. But restaurants usually meron yung turnover date, kailangan nyo mag-open ng ganitong date, so kailangan nyo mag-open ng ganitong date. So I think yung timeline is a challenge, but I think that can be addressed by developing a brand book, because if you have a brand book, then yung design process becomes a little bit more truncated, because alam mo na parang okay, etong finishes yung gagamitin natin, ganito yung gusto nating ma-achieve, ganitong vibe, as Coach Rommel would say, yung gusto nating ma-achieve. So if you have those standards in place, that helps ease the timeline a little bit. So that's one challenge. And I guess also another challenge is parang in the Philippines kasi the dining behavior, or parang dining is a social experience, so people don't go there to eat and go. People go there because they want to bring their family, spend time with their friends, they want to parang be in a place that's instagrammable, ganyan. So you have to always, I guess, even if you have a brand book, you have to evolve that constantly according to parang the behavior of people, because again, it's not parang performing a function and tapos ka na. It's about these interactions that happen also in the space. So I think the challenge there is parang how do you evolve your brand, also the elements in your brand, to adapt to these mga social interactions that happen in the dining spaces.
You
So,
mentioned a while ago yung on like evolving. Meron bang set timeline when it comes to, okay, kailangan ko na uli mag-strengthen ng brand ko? How many years?
no, I think no set timeline, but from what we've seen, siguro mga around the 4-year, 5-year mark, you have to parang start evaluating it again. Earlier, if it's that parang good na yon, parang good if you did your branding, I guess, well, I guess you start to reevaluate at that point. But earlier, if mas hindi ganong maayos yung pagkakagawa mo. Yeah.
So mas mahaba yung yung waiting period kung if you did it right the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Papatotohanan uli natin yan. Actually, yung Buffalo Wings and Things, nung unang 2-3 taon yan, wala kaming brand guidance. Talagang kami lang, kumuha kami sa internet. No? Hanggang sa na-realize namin, baka mademanda kami ng mga pinagkukuha namin ng mga logo at mga fonts. No? Naalala ni Olivia kasi yung kwentuhan namin nung niyaya namin siya. So it was about 3 years. Happy 13th anniversary pala sa lahat ng mga nagtrabaho at patuloy pa rin nagtatrabaho sa Buffalo Wings and Things. No, si RR Gallego, nanonood niya, 10th year anniversary niya na as an employee. Maraming salamat kay Vince, kay RR, kay Rose, no? Marami pa. No? And of course, si Ed, si Sunny, si Kevin, no? Nung April 1, ang aming 13th anniversary.
Talagang April 1 pa
2009.
talaga eh.
Oh, ganun talaga kami baliw. Eh. So, sabi ko nga, after 3 years, I think, Olive, saka kami lumapit sa iyo. Eh, no? Kasi mga Gramercy pa ni Ed days, so mga yun. 2012, 2011, 2013, ganyan.
Gosh, yeah.
Kaya ako natandaan kasi bago kami nag-open sa Solinad. Yung unang franchisee namin, so bago kami nag-franchise, nag-consult muna kami kay Olive. And mapakalaking diferensya po. Yung, ito, kinikwento ko naman, yung unang 2 tindahan namin, na in-expand after Home Depot, nagsara pareho yun. Kasi hindi namin nauunawaan kung ano yung brand namin. No, akala namin it was beers and wings, no, and yung pala, it's a family dining place, no, and it's supposed to be fun, casual, no. So parang ganoon, no. So syempre in hindsight 2020 yan eh, no, pero ang sinasabi namin, totoo 'yun, no? When you do it, no, bago pa yung brand mo, mag-invest ka na. Para kung mag-expand ka man, and malaking yun eh, a determinant of success din. No, na malinaw yung branding mo. Sabi ko nga lalo ngayon. Kasi ang daling mag-put up ng content, ang daling mag-market, so ang daming naglalagay ng content sa social media. So kung walang pagkakakilanlan or identity ang iyong brand, napakahirap mag-compete.
Ayun. Eto, actually, what's next naman for Studio O?
I believe there's still so much to learn for us. There's so many things that we want to improve on and experience still and do projects na gusto pa namin gawin. I think we just want to do more of the same thing, and we want to parang dig deeper pa and learn more about what we're doing now, because honestly parang branding is such a rich practice na there's so many like touch points. We discussed today more about like the physical touch point, like the architecture touch point, but there's so many other things like audio branding, like scenting, all those things. We want to do more of and learn more about and develop our skills on. So I think we just really want to keep on improving and going deeper with branding. But at the same time, we also have a new, venture. We're doing workshops now. So that's something that we also want to give our energy to. So it's very similar to, I guess, what you're doing. We do want to at least impart some of what we've learned from the industry. So we're hoping that really parang fast tracks.
So you mentioned, if they want to know more about those workshops, how do they get in touch, or where do they find you?
Well, we are on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can always email Jen. Kilala ni Romel yan si Jen, to inquire about our workshops, or email me. I think we can give my
Yes.
email address here later for people who want to reach us. But yes, definitely you can message us anytime on our socials.
So Instagram, Facebook, Studio O.
Studio
O Inc.
Inc. Yun, may
Studio
ink
O
sa
Inc.
Ayan. Before we let you go, message to the audience.
Message to the audience. Thank you for spending that 1 hour with us. I appreciate, I know you might have better things to do, but thank you for spending time to listen to us. Hopefully you pick something up. If you're, I guess, in the restaurant industry, I say more power to you guys. It has been parang a very challenging last couple of years, but based on what I'm seeing, like with the clients that we're working with, and like what I'm seeing in the industry, it's really picking up. So it's very positive looking. So more power to you guys.
Yeah, no? Sabi ko sa'yo, share eh. Talagang
magaling nga.
pang grand finals na, pang Miss Universe pa.
I know.
May nagtatanong dito, dati po ba siyang binibining Pilipinas?
Sabi ko sa'yo di ba? Pagbukas pala ng camera eh.
So, sagutin mo, Olive, dati ka raw bang binibining Pilipinas?
Next year pa lang, kasi
Next year.
underage pa ako.
Yes, ayun na.
Yun yung kanyang weakness po, no? Meron siyang talagang naapektuhan po siya, siguro nabagsakan.
Hindi kasi designer, baka may issue sa math.
Ayan. So magandang gabi po. Sabi nga, salamat sa lahat ng nanood. Nazir Tismo. No? Kanina nabanggit natin si Chinteren. Oh, Miss Chinterenal, magandang gabi sa iyo. Ryan Barbo, si Rosal Padilla, magandang. Nelson Natividad. J. Ray Kitangon. Para akong teacher na nag-a-attendance, pero tuwan-tuwa ako pag nababasa ko po yung mga pangalan nyo, nagpapalakas po ng aming loob yan na magpatuloy. No? Every week, Glenjor Bulanhagi, speaking of people from Zarks, no? Engineer Jocelyn Kahiga, siyempre from the Netherlands, no? Ayan, talagang linggo-linggo na. Salamat Coach Engineer Jocelyn. At siyempre si Jordan Mendoza. Ayan, magandang gabi sa iyo, bro. Nice to see you again. At ang mga taga Valenzuela, no? Amy Villamayor at si Ma'am Sening Demate na nag-check ng attendance. Siyempre po mga representing ng mga taga May Kawayan, Bulacan. Broms Jr., June Broms Jr., magandang gabi sa iyo. Sabi niya, hi, sabi ni MM Guardino, hi, Idol Miss Olive. Thanks for all your help. Highly recommended, super galing ng team ng Studio. Ayan. Si Jen Comaribia, nagbigay na ng at Studio O Inc. Ayan. Sabi ko nandiyan si Jen eh. Okay, mga detailing na miss out mo, ikaw siya na. Pastor Allen, ayan, magandang gabi sa iyo. At si JJ Gusilatar. At ang ating pong mahiwagang resto question for the week. Alam mo, share itong resto question natin, parang tingin ko dapat ito pang isang episode to eh.
Oo. Especially now.
Di ba? Parang sorry
Actually, supply chain episode.
Oo, supply chain episode siguro. Pero siguro papahapyawan lang natin. Una sa lahat, ang maaari nyo pong gawin is reviewin nyo ang inyong menu. No? Checkin nyo po muna yung inyong costing. Baka naman kailangan muna magsimula tayo ron sa foundation, which is an accurate basis for costing. At sa ngayon, syempre, reviewin mo kung ano yung pwede nyo pong i-menu engineer. Kung mataas yung food ko sa halimbawa ng mga protein ngayon, lahat po ngayon, share dito, alam mo, ang manok, presyo na ng baka. No? At ang baboy, presyo na ng di ko alam. No? At ang baka, parang ayaw na ipakain sa tao sa sobrang mahal. So nagbago na talaga yung dynamics sa protina rito, no? Even isda. No? So again, no, if you're heavy on the protein, you have to supplement that with other items that are more low cost. So isang episode po, pag-uusapan natin yan. And lastly, ang paalala ko po, it's about value. No? So enhance the value of your proposition, of your offering, para meron kayong, kung mag-adjust man ng price, kailangan mauna muna yung enhancement ng value. Yan, no? Renovate, rebrand, diba? Para mas maging mas maging madaling magpresyo ng medyo mas mataas. And we can get a higher market. Ayan, Miss Emily, sana nasagot namin ang katanungan at nangangako kami, no? Maggagawa tayo ng episode na dedicated dyan sapagkat common to all yan. No? Sabi nga ng mga taga-restaurant, nag-survive nga kami ng pandemya, mukhang sa inflation naman kami madadali. No? Grabe ang pagtaas ng presyo rito ng lahat ng bagay, share. No?
Grabe.
Okay. Ito, napakaganda ng sinabi ni Mr. Rockwell. Kilala nating lahat yan, no? Si Mr. David Rockwell. No? Good restaurant design is about achieving equilibrium between the food, service, and design. In effect, it's about telling a complete story. Yan, binanggit ni align na align si Miss Olive kay David Rockwell. No? Talaga yung mga kahilera mo, Mare, talagang mga Rockwell.
Rockwell.
Of the Rockwell group. Siya yan, no? Siya mismo yan. Okay, with that, nagpapasalamat po tayo kay Miss Olive at sa lahat ng mga taong nagbibigay sa atin ng oras. Ayan po, hindi po binabayaran sila. Sila po yung mga volunteers at nagpapasalamat po tayo. Linggo-linggo po tayong nag-a-attempt magyaya ng mga resto coaches dito sa ating palabas at sa lahat po ng pumayag. No? Gaya ni Miss Olive, maraming salamat. Mabuhay po kayo. Ito pong ating ginagawa, hindi lang para sa industriya, kundi para rin po sa bansang Pilipinas. No? At nakita niyo po ang ating mga OFW ginagawa rin po itong pang-aliw, no? Pangbawas ng homesick linggo-linggo at sa ganung paraan po nagpapasalamat kami sa Diyos na yung mga OFW natin nakikita natin dito every week, no? Mga kababayan nating nasa iba't ibang sulok ng daigdig. And with that, share, mag-iingat ka sa iyong pagpayat, baka sumobrang kapayatan mo. Ha? Hindi rin maganda yan, no?
Filter.
At sa pagpila po na application sa Miss Universe ni Miss Olive, ipanalangin po natin siya, no? Na matagpuan niya ang tunay niyang edad, no? Nagtataka kayo kung ba't nabibiro ko si Olive ng ganyan. Ay, medyo close lang. At with that, mapaalala po natin, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your wings up. God bless you. Maraming salamat po. Good night.
Thank you.